Ikemba village sat between hills and big baobab trees with twisted branches. At night, moonlight made the mud huts shine like silver, and crickets sang loudly. Maya walked alone, holding a glowing lantern. She looked tired but strong. Her steps took her to the Forest of Whispers, a scary place. Maya, a widow who made healing medicines, loved her son, Obinna, more than anything. Tonight, she wanted to save him from danger. In Ikemba, stories felt real, and shadows hid secrets. Every 30 years, a red moon brought a curse to a firstborn child. It made them act strange, then die. Nobody knew why, but signs showed up: weird words, scared animals, and odd drawings. Eldenwoke told Maya when Obinna was born under a red moon, the curse is in him. At 10, it will start. Maya didn't believe it. Her love was strong, but as Obinna's 10th birthday got closer, she felt scared. Maya worked hard, making charms from kola nuts and palm leaves. She prayed to her ancestors in her hut, filled with clay pots and baskets. Obinna slept nearby, his scar shining a little in the moonlight. Maya loved that scar but feared it too. The village talked about Obinna, saying he was bad luck. People looked away from Maya, staring at the hills where the Forest of Whispers stood. Maya didn't care. She watched Obinna at night, her heart beating fast, feeling the red moon coming. One evening, Maya washed herbs by the village stream. Her friend Amora came over. "Maya, you can't stop the gods," Amora said softly. "The curse is too strong." Maya's eyes were angry. "Obinna is my son," she said, breaking a kola nut. "I'll save him." Amora touched Maya's shoulder, but the village's fear felt heavy. That night, Maya knelt by Obinna's mat, praying to her ancestors, her voice full of hope. Strange things started. Obinna, who loved chasing fireflies and laughing under mango trees, changed. His dark brown eyes looked far away. One night, Maya found him outside their hut, walking in his sleep. His feet were dirty with red soil. He said deep, strange words, like the forest talking. Maya held him, scared, but Obinna's eyes were empty. In the morning, she saw spirals drawn in the dirt floor. Obinna said he didn't make them. Goats ran from him, and chickens flew away, leaving feathers behind. The village saw it too. Kids stopped playing with Obinna. Their parents pulled them back. At the market, women held their charms tightly when Obinna passed, his beige tunic dirty with red soil. They whispered, "He's cursed." Maya hurt inside but stood tall, her green head wrapped like a crown. She made new medicines, her hands steady even though she was afraid. She wouldn't let Obinna be lost. One evening, Eldenwoke came to Maya's hut, holding his carved wooden staff. "Obinna needs a special cleaning," he said, his voice serious. "Or the gods will take him." Maya's eyes were fierce. "He's my son, not a gift to the gods," she said, her voice shaking. "I need more time." Eldenwoke looked sad but left, his staff tapping the ground. His words stayed with Maya, heavy like the hot air. That night, Maya sat by Obinna, watching him sleep. His scar seemed to glow in the moonlight. She touched it softly, her fingers gentle, and prayed to her ancestors for help. Outside, the village was quiet, but the air felt heavy, like the red moon was watching. Maya remembered her mother's stories about the curse, how it took her cousin long ago. "I won't lose Obinna," she promised, her voice soft in the dark, her heart strong. Maya felt hopeless, so she went to the Forest of Whispers, a place nobody visited. Its trees were strange, and their leaves sounded like talking. Only spirits and odd people lived there. The Seer of Ashes, An old woman with a thin face, sharp cheekbones, fiery amber eyes, a narrow nose, grey matted hair with ash, and torn robes with beads and bones, lived deep inside. Maya took herbs, kola nuts, and a little of her blood as gifts. She tied her green head wrap tight, her brown wrapper moving as she walked into the dark forest with her lantern. The forest felt alive, smelling like wet dirt. Shadows moved like faces but disappeared. Maya's lantern got dim, its light weak. She prayed to stay brave, her feet quiet on moss. The trees seemed closer, their sounds telling her to go back. But she thought of Obinna's smile and scar, so she kept going. She tripped on roots, her hands scratching on rough tree bark, but didn't stop, her love for Obinna pushing her. In a clearing, the seer of ashes stood, her beaded veil shining. "You want to stop the red moon curse, Maya?" the seer said, her voice rough. Maya knelt, giving her gifts, her heart beating fast. "How do I save Obinna?" she asked. The seer's eyes glowed. "A life for a life," she said. "Only your life can stop the curse." The words hurt Maya like a cut. She walked back to Ikemba, thinking of Obinna's laugh and the seer's words, her heart full of fear and love. Back in the village, Maya stopped at the shrine under a big iroko tree, where people left yams and palm wine. She knelt and prayed, her blood gift still warm. The ancestors didn't answer, but she felt them, telling her to decide. She thought of Obinna's small hand, his trust. The choice was hard, but she knew she had to face the red moon to save him. Obinna's 10th birthday came, and the sky felt heavy. The red moon glowed red, making Ikemba look bloody. Villagers held torches, their faces scared and mad. "Obinna must go to the gods," they yelled, moving to Maya's hut. Maya stood in front, her green head wrap bright, her brown wrapper dirty with earth. She held Obinna close, his beige tunic on his shaking body, his dark eyes confused. The crowd came closer, their torches making long shadows. Maya raised her hand, her voice loud. "You won't take Obinna," she shouted, her eyes strong. The villagers stopped, afraid but stuck to old ways. Then the ground shook, like the earth was alive. Obinna fell, his body shaking hard, his eyes red and strange. The curse was here. People gasped as Maya picked him up, strong even though she was small, and ran to the sacred tree with big roots like hands. Under the tree, Maya knelt, breathing fast. She took a small knife, its blade shiny, and cut her hand. Blood fell on the red soil. She said the seer's words, each one hot in her mouth, old and strong. The air sparked, like tiny fires. The red moon got brighter, burning. The seer of ashes' voice came in the wind, "This is what a mother's love costs." Maya's heart hurt, but she didn't give up. Maya put her bleeding hand on Obinna's chest, screaming with love and strength. A bright light flashed, so strong it hurt eyes. The curse left Obinna and went into Maya, like a dark wave. Maya fell, breathing slowly, a calm smile on her face as the light went away. Obinna moved, his eyes normal, his scar not glowing. The red moon faded, and the night was quiet. Obinna woke up, and everything was quiet. The air felt clean, and stars filled the sky. He reached for Maya, but her hand was cold, still holding his. Maya lay still, her green head wrap a little loose, her face peaceful. The villagers, who followed, stood still, their torches dim. Some cried, some knelt, seeing what Maya did. She took the curse to save Obinna. The village was sad for Maya. They buried her under the sacred tree, putting kola nuts and palm leaves on her grave to show her bravery. Obinna grew up with the villagers' help, Maya's strength in his eyes. He learned to make medicines like her, his hands steady even with sad memories. Every night, he sat by her grave, thanking the ancestors, promising to remember her. Years later, Obinna, now a 30-year-old man with a round face, strong jaw, deep brown eyes, a small broad nose, short coiled black hair, and a crescent-shaped scar on his hand, wearing a dark green tunic, sat by a fire under stars. Kids sat close, their faces bright, listening to him. Some said Maya was cursed. He said, his voice full of love, "I say she was my hero, who beat the curse." His words made Maya's story a new tale for Ikemba, about a mother's love, stronger than any curse, brighter than any moon. Ikemba changed after that. The Red Moon story was forgotten, and Maya's story took its place. The village was happy, not scared of the night. Amora, a 40-year-old woman, told Maya's story at gatherings. Obinna made a small shrine by the sacred tree, leaving herbs and kola nuts for kids to learn about love. Under the stars, Ikemba showed Maya's win over the gods. True love is not just in words, but in sacrifice. Maya's love was pure and fearless, so strong it broke a curse. Her legacy teaches us that the greatest power lies in selflessness. Even in silence, the brave speak forever. If Maya's sacrifice moved you, don't let her story fade. Share it. Keep her memory alive by spreading tales of courage, love, and healing. Subscribe for more powerful African stories that remind us who we are, rooted, resilient, and full of light.